What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Arabesque. And we're returning for another song from 1982. Thank you as always to Chafic for the music and for the information he's provided. And this one, Caballero, is another Japan-only release, another single that was released in Japan. And yeah, Caballero, in the most strict sense, is a Latin American, or like Spanish/Latin horseman, like someone who is of the, let's say, gentry, and thus more generally it is a Spanish gentleman. It is not someone who is a, let's say, plebeian. It is someone who has a bit of status and significance. And of course, Caballero, in some different contexts, like the three Caballeros, it can refer to people who sing, and it's more than just riding a horse or being a gentleman. But yes, those are the meanings that I'm familiar with, so I would expect this to have a Spanish and or Latin flavor to it. Let's give it a listen and see what it is. This is Arabesque. The song is Caballero. It's from 1982, and as I said, it was a Japan-only single release.
Descended from a noble clan, you live by the rules of your family. You can't marry me.
I think I have a handle on a lot of the scene painting, excuse me, or the story here, but there's a couple details. I wasn't sure. She was saying, like, if you let me down, I'll be crying all night, but I'll be what? Like, what was the word there? Because, like, that obviously makes a big difference. At first, I was like, oh, but she'll still be proud? Is it like, it's something about sound? Not sure what she's saying there. But okay, it sounds like he is a wealthy gentleman, the most famous man in town, and the rules of his family and who he's allowed to be with or to marry, they're very specific. And she's saying, I'm just a humble girl, I'm just a peasant, I'm just a plebeian, a peasant. Whereas again, you're a caballero, you're part of the landed gentry, and you come from a wealthy family of influence and so on, and so you're not allowed to be with me, you have to follow the rules of your family. But she's saying, like, I think I'll stay out of sight during the day, so kiss me tonight. So it's like they're carrying on this illicit, or at least by the rules of the society that they're living in, relationship. And she is saying, I think she's like trusting that he'll continue to honor their actual relationship, even if they can't acknowledge it in public, even if he can't address her or even pay her mind in public. But she's also, I guess, aware of the vulnerability, because she's saying, if you let me down, if you don't let me kiss you, if you don't allow this to exist in some respect, then I'll be crying all night. So again, there were a couple words or phrases in there that I couldn't hear clearly, and obviously that could change the meaning as it hit me significantly. But yes, definitely Latin flavor. We've got the Spanish brass. We've just got that feel of like a 19th century, like Southwest here in the U.S. type of feel. Maybe it's like properly in Spain. I'm not sure, but yeah, I was seeing it sort of like Argentina or Mexico in the 19th century, something like that. Which is again interesting that I get that they had a following in Japan and so on, but it seems like an interesting release to have be in a Japan only single. But yeah, again, their voices sounding good and kind of inhabiting the character, which they seem to do in most of their songs. It's they're often, the narrator is like part of the story. It's rare that one of their songs is just making claims about human relations, sort of more philosophically or in a detached sense. So yeah, another fun tune from them with a particular like regional flavor. Do let me know what you think. Once again, big thank you to Chafic, and I will see you next time. Peace.